welcome to Tech Talks. My name is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of Philly Tech. And Tech Talks, again, is every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. If you want to come to Cherry Hill, you could start coming. Come over here, wear a mask, it'll be awesome. So I'm so excited today for my guest. So I have a little bit of a backstory on it. My guest today is Will Houston from Custom House, custom AI-driven software development. Awesome, awesome. So it's great to have you here. Elbow pump, elbow pump, great. So again, Tech Talks, everyone, again, is all about the entrepreneurs in the audience, software companies, tech startups, people in the tech ecosystem. We are here to help you and make sure that you're successful. My mission really in life is to help people and give you value. That's really what I want to do. So I bring on great guests in technology, co-founders, founders, SVPs, people in the investment community to educate you. So today, again, I have Will Houston. Awesome name, Will, by the way. Will Houston, awesome name. And again, with Custom House Software, Custom House Technologies, sorry. And he's the SVP there. And the great backstory on this is I'm at a restaurant, I'm actually on a date, right? And basically I'm talking about Marvel Comics. I'm talking about my favorite Marvel Comics guy.
Dr. Strange.
Dr. Strange. Yep. And all of a sudden Will's like, he said, I love Dr. Strange. Right? And then I'm on a date, right? And basically that didn't go anywhere. It might, but I'm getting together with Will, right? How great is that? So it's so awesome to have you here, Will. And Will, again, is in AI, artificial intelligence. His company, Custom House Technologies, builds solutions in AI. Great future for AI. Everybody knows that. We've talked it on the show many, many times. So Will, tell the audience a little bit more about what you do at Custom House.
Sure.
What do you do there? What's the value?
Sure. Well, at a high level, Custom House is an AI-led client solutions company. Mm-hmm. We build solutions for our clients, led with AI, and over the past 6 years, we've delivered dozens of projects to clients, primarily focused, again, on the buckets of artificial intelligence, focused on Internet of Things, and we focus on some application development.
Right.
So, but that's not all we are.
Right.
We can certainly deliver projects with AI, and that means machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, conversational interfaces, everything that falls into the general category of AI, we're very, very good at. Mm-hmm. But we're more than that. What we actually do is we bring to our clients the critical thinking and the pure consulting required to them to help them do their digital transformation with an AI-led perspective. So come up with ideas. Sandbox with them, maybe build a skunkworks, maybe do some prototyping. At the end of the day, we're trying to show our customers, hey, here's what you could do, here's the value it can bring, and then, by the way, we'll help you realize that value. And so far, I gotta say, we're doing pretty good. Again, over the past 6 years, dozens of projects delivered, and 100% client satisfaction. So as you can imagine, it's an easier time for me to sleep at night when I know that if I'm talking to a prospect the next day, you give me a chance, it's a good chance. You give me a chance, you're going to become a happy customer tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, so everyone, I got to tell you a story here real quick about Will. So this guy, you want to work with this guy because, and I'm not just saying this, right? So I have done now 35 shows. And I tell everybody before a show, this is the framework for the show. This is what I'm going to ask you. Will was prepared. He put together a lot of information, right? So I got to tell you, I'm actually impressed, right? Because that tells me and tells the people watching that when nobody has done this, nobody has prepared and said, Mike, this is kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to say. What do you think? And I'm like, this is unbelievable. So I'm just telling you, really, it's unbelievable. So
I value your opinion as much in this as on Dr. Strange.
Right. It's good, and we're all cut from the same cloth. We're a little weird. We're in technology. So in terms of your company, again, Custom House, the value proposition. So what's the value proposition? How do you help clients?
Right. So imagine you're a client, and you have a very important project. a big project, transformational project, too important to even fail. And you're thinking about that project and you think to yourself, well, can't fail. So I can use this advanced AI technology to achieve a really, really great outcome, like really a home run. But there's incremental risk associated with using the new technology. Or I can deliver a not so good solution for my company using tried and true but not modern technologies, and there's less risk. So what Custom House does is we help you eliminate that risk, reducing it greatly. We will go out and we will take a look at the project. We will bring that, when we talked about the critical skills and the pure consultative services, we will go out and we will look at your project. We will tell you, here's what's possible. We will tell you, here's the challenges to what's possible. We will prototype. We will prototype it and say, hey, here's what this looks like. And at the end of that, you're watching your risk go down. So that really horrible choice you were facing, do I hit a home run or a single? Do I play it safe or not? All of a sudden, it becomes a lot easier to take the leap and do the right thing because the risk is so reduced. Also, you think about a product or a pilot or a prototype, very trivial cost compared to the overall project. So, yeah, so that's what you've done. You've taken this horrible situation where you have to make a tough decision, and we've reduced the risk. And by the way, we can actually help you deliver it as well. So we'll form that, you know, we either help you with the project directly, we can help you in an audit capacity, we can walk along the steps with you to make sure you realize the value of that project.
Yeah, so tell me, you've told me, and I'm kind of going to add some value to your question here.
Please.
In terms of your team, right? You've said to me, and this is valuable for everybody, the reason why technology companies excel is really their, you know, their processes, their people, what they do. So you've said to me that you have some of the best people in AI in the country. So just give a quick overview of that, because that goes into value proposition, everybody. When you're looking at a company to do work with, they have to have great people, and especially with AI. Okay, you're gonna like, people might be able to tell you something and you might not know, but tell the company, I mean, tell the audience about your people, you know, that are in AI and what they're all about.
Sure. Well, I mean, if we think about it from a team perspective, we're really aligned around delivering value to the customer. And we do have what we consider in each of the sort of positions I'll go through, we do have among the best in the country. You can find somewhere people as good as us, but you're not going to find people better than us in some of these places. So, I mean, if we think about the services, I like to look at it from a top-down perspective. Okay, so when we talk about AI, which again is machine learning, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, computer vision, conversational interfaces, all of those you know, categories under AI. And also, we talked about a little bit, we have a special bend towards the Internet of Things as well, because we're very high on that right now. When you think about that, you start at the top and say, okay, well, what kind of people do you need to do what kind of jobs? So it aligns with our services. At the very top of the stack, we really have our data scientists and our solution architects. The data scientists and solution architects are the ones who know how to map the flow of data through a client's company. And this is very important. This is the keys to the kingdom for everything AI, is understanding where the data is, how it flows, what it does. So that data mapping is very, very important. And that's the key. And we have the data scientists and the architects who can do that. If you take a step down and say, okay, well, tell me about, now you know what this data is and where it's flowing, well, where is it actually, physically? So obviously everybody's heard about the cloud. We certainly have cloud architects on with us who are very, very good. We have other solution architects for data warehouses. Maybe it's a hybrid model. But the point is, we know where your data is doing, what the value it is, what it is, how it flows. Now we also know where it lives. Okay, the key part is next. Now's where we can do the really interesting stuff. But you can provide lots of analysis, you can provide lots of insights, but we have an extreme bias in our company towards actionable insights. So lots of people can produce reports that tell you about your business, but what we're trying to do is trigger something within your business that is an action that adds value to you or to your clients. Okay, so normally when we think about interfacing with a company like that, typically that becomes application development. So obviously we've got pure application development, we have teams we can deploy, we can again audit you along the way to make sure you're going the right direction. But yeah, so we are able to deliver that value and deliver that action to your business, which is where we want to go. And then, you know, the last step is really like, what do we do with it now that it's deployed? So we obviously have a lot to do with application and solution stewardship, as I'll call it, where we basically make sure it stays up to date, stays secure. Like you don't want to be a CIO or something worrying, hey, do I have the latest security patches? So we take care of that for you as well. We also, in application development, we focus on delivering the value where you are. So you have to be in mobile. You have to do Apple, you have to do Android, you have to do it on a desktop.
Yeah.
I don't know what will be next. Maybe you'll have to tap your Google glasses at some point and we'll have to build an interface for that. But you have to go deliver the value where the clients are. I did talk a little bit about IoT, which is always very exciting for us. I look at IoT as thousands and thousands of devices all delivering data. And we're just incredibly excited about IoT. Yeah. We've done a couple of projects there, one which maybe we'll go into in a little bit. But just the potential that IoT has relative to AI is going to be transformative. And I think over the next few years, you're going to see that.
Yeah, so everyone, in terms of what AI, just at the highest level, basically AI, you have data, you have processes, and you want to automate them, right? So you're teaching something, a machine, an AI, to actually do those processes, right? So one question I have before we go to break here, because we're going to talk about client stories, really, really excited to do that in our next segment. But in terms of the people watching this, like if they wanted to just test, do some testing, I've heard of obviously like Google TensorFlow, I've heard about all these. If they wanted to test this a little bit, right, and create some tests and maybe have entrepreneurs that want to build things, right? So what do you recommend starting with? Like, so if they wanted to start to understand this better, where do you recommend they should begin, like to learn more?
Well, it always starts at the top. You have to understand what your data is doing in your business and where it's flowing. Right. So we started with that. It keeps coming back to that. Until you understand where your data is and what it's doing and what each piece of data means, it's very difficult to drive any value from AI. Right. So I would say start with that. If you have that capability, fantastic. If you need that capability, you can give us a call. We're happy to have a consultation with you about that. That one's, we do a lot of these consultations, and one of the things we do very well is talking with clients. We have a lot of domain knowledge, so we can give you ideas to say, have you considered this? For perhaps example, there's a data set that we're aware exists out in the world that's actually particularly relevant to what you're trying to do. Yeah. Well, we know about that data set because this is what we do. You might not. So just a phone call away, and all of a sudden you might know about this data set, which might add value. Whether we get a project out of that ourselves or not, that's really secondary to the building of the AI ecosystem. Yeah. Yeah, so that would be what I would start with, yeah.
So you have data out there. So you have data in your business, everyone. So you probably know you have data. You might not know exactly where it all is or how it's structured, but like Will said, there's also data you can grab that's out there. Some of it's open source, right? And he's very aware of it, right? So, when you're building these solutions, you're combining your data many times with outside data sets in order to build something. So come on back in a few minutes. Super excited to talk about case studies, clients that they have, as well as we're going to talk about the pandemic, because they have had actually a really good success story based around the pandemic. So come on back to Tech Talks in a few minutes. Thanks.
Number 7. Number 8.
9 regular. Oh, wait. 13 giant. The usual?
Of course. Number 1.
Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Today's show is sponsored by Dr. Jacqueline. Take charge of your life personally, financially, and professionally. Visit drjacqueline.com to book an appointment today.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
So welcome back to Tech Talks. My name again is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of Philly Tech. And I am here with Will Houston. He is the SVP at Custom House Technologies, which again does custom development in artificial intelligence and AI right here in Philadelphia. So we were talking about services in the last segment, and we're kind of repositioning the success stories. So Will has had some great success stories that he's told me about and some great clients. So tell the audience about them, Will.
Sure, absolutely. There's a few I could talk about. Again, we cover a lot of different industries, especially in the Philadelphia area where we're focused. There's certainly a lot of healthcare, a lot of consumer retail, that type of thing, and we're in pretty much every different industry there is. But let me hit on a couple of the projects we've done recently that are really exciting. So the first one I'll talk about is called Hands-Free Health. So Hands-Free Health, if I were to summarize it, is a HIPAA-compliant Alexa-like device that allow people to stay in their homes as they age and develop medical complications. So one of the challenges with using regular devices is that they are not HIPAA compliant. So the data that goes back and forth has to be carefully follow what's called HIPAA compliance. So it has to be very carefully managed. So what this device is, it looks like an Alexa or a Google Home, and it has the ability to have it's a conversational interface, so you're able to talk to it. It can also scan your medicine bottles. So if you hold it up and it says, hey, take this 3 times a day, it'll, hey, you have to take this 3 times a day. It realizes what it is, and it can remind you about what it is, all in a very HIPAA compliant way. So it's computer vision to recognize it, along with the conversational interface. Okay, I see your bottle. I see you have to take this 3 times a day. Would you like me to remind you 3 times a day? If so, at what times? And it can put this together for you.
Nice.
Also, because of the nature of what it is, it can also be a regular Alexa or Google Home. So if you say, hey, play some music, it recognizes that and plays music the same way it would.
Right.
So it's kind of like an enhanced device. And the really cool piece about it hits so much about what AI does. I mean, the conversational interface, the computer vision, being able to see that bottle and say, okay, not only do I read that, but I know what it means. And then also to be able to just do the natural language processing and voice recognition. So that's just a really, really great product that we feel is really transformative. And we built pretty much end-to-end, all the technology, including some of the on-chip technology. We actually helped with the sourcing. So this was a client who came to us and said, here's what we want to do, help us build that. And we were able to do that sort of pretty much end-to-end.
Nice.
So that's a really great project we've done.
So in terms of that, quick follow-up question on that. So I don't know how much you can say, but how do you scan it? Do you put it up to like your phone or something? Like how does it scan your bottle?
Oh, it's got a little camera on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's got a little camera on. You can hold up your bottle to it, and it just says, "Okay, I see it." Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a really, really cool technology.
Yeah, that is a great application, especially during this everything happening, because more people are going to be home in general.
Right. Well, it allows you to stay in situ as long as you possibly can, both. As you increase in age and with medical complications that invariably come up. But also with the COVID crisis, certainly the technology is even more important. But this is just one of those great ways that AI is transforming the world around us as we know it. 20 years ago, this would not have been possible.
Yeah.
Now, it will become every day if it isn't already.
Yeah. So you have some other ones, right? You have some other stories.
Yep. So just switching industries a little bit. One of the other ones we're really excited about is a company called Loop. So what Loop does, they actually help with court efficiency. They will pre-screen the caseloads of our court system for landlord-tenant issues, landlord-tenant claims. So the AI will look through the claim in advance and basically kick back a bunch of them saying, hey, this one can be handled this way, this one can be handled this way. This one still needs to go to arbitration, and you need a judge involved and the whole 9 yards. But if you think about what it's doing, it's understanding the terms and conditions within the contract, within the contracts, within the claims, and it's applying years worth of history of claims to it and saying, this is the most likely outcome. Here's the path this one will take. So courts right now spend an inordinate amount of time and money, our time and money, I might add, right? Just sorting through claims and understanding which way is which. And now they don't have to do that. They won't have to do that. So if you think about it, I like to think of it, especially in these times, the court efficiency allows our courts to focus more on the issues and challenges of the day, where they should be spending their time. So in a lot of ways, it's increasing justice by decreasing paperwork.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's really cool about that use case, right, is I can see how in the past there was a person they were probably paying like, I don't know, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 a year just to like look at these things and like send it to people. Probably, right?
There's a lot more of that clerking type work.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
And you know how they say AI is you know, hey, look out for your job. But at the end of the day, you got to be thinking to yourself, am I really adding value here, or am I just doing like a mundane routine task?
Right.
You know, I mean, we're obviously driving business, we're doing a lot of things, but if you're in a job where you got to be, you know, thinking, how can I add value, not how am I just doing the same routine over and over and over again, right?
Correct.
So yeah, I think you have one more story, right?
So one more that I want to talk about, just switching industries yet again, is a company called RightLoad. So RightLoad is essentially what we like to call the Uber for truck drivers. So think about connecting truck drivers with the optimal cargo shipment for themselves. They could be in one city, needing to go to another city, and you always want to have a cargo within your truck if you're an independent trucker. And to connect you with the right people who need a shipment from point A to point B when you happen to need to drive to point A to point B, that's like a godsend. So that's a really cool technology because it's doing a lot of complicated matching. It also does a lot of routing technologies, like what's the most efficient route. Let's say you have to pick up two cargoes from one customer and another customer, put them both in your truck and go to city B. What allows you to handle the routing and stuff. But what we really get excited about this is probably why we like this one the most, is the IoT nature of it. See, in each one of these trucks, there's a number of sensors. Simple things like, you know, where you are, how fast you're driving. Things that are actually less intuitive but really important in refrigerated trucks. God forbid something goes wrong with the refrigeration unit when you leave city A. By the time you get to city B, your entire load is spoiled if the refrigeration unit didn't work. So there's sensors in there in different places to make sure that all the vegetables or whatever you happen to be shipping stays fresh and healthy and won't develop, you know, bad stuff for us. So we're able to do that. And if you think about just the incredible amounts of data being generated constantly by these sensors all over the place, it's a really true IoT use case that adds a lot of value. I mean, just preventing a load here or there from going bad as it's being shipped is tremendous value. Tremendous value.
So I got two stories for that, really cool. So one of my clients actually is in the shipping business, like actually builds software to help make shipping of containers and shipping of things better.
Okay.
So there's probably an intro there.
Absolutely.
The other thing, great story, is my mom and dad bought 2 watermelons at ShopRite. And basically, each time they brought the watermelons home, the watermelons were bad. And my mom was like, geez, like, what's the problem here? So if ShopRite had this technology, they wouldn't have bad watermelons, right? I mean, come on.
Simple as that.
Use cases. So absolutely. This is great. So in terms of the pandemic too, you had mentioned to me a lot of businesses that I'm working with, and I think this is great, is they're excelling in the pandemic, right? So you had told me that the pandemic created some opportunities for custom, you know, for your company. So tell the audience about that.
Sure. Well, I mean, It is what it is. The pandemic has been a horrible situation. And without a doubt, we lost a good deal of pipeline. Some projects got delayed or canceled. It's affected all of us, and that's, I don't want to understate that.
Right.
But what we have seen recently is a shift in the type of business we're now looking at. So, for example, in the past couple of weeks, we've signed a couple of contracts that with government-related entities, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to deal with COVID or the fallout from COVID, or what will society 2.0 look like after COVID. So the good news is there's business. It's starting to come back and come back in. We think it's going to come back quite a bit. It's just going to be maybe a little bit different than what we were doing beforehand. But the real lesson here that I mean, if you think about what humankind has dealt with over the past, I don't know, go 50 years. Pick any disaster that we've dealt with. This is the first real disaster, I think, where you've been able to pull the full power of AI into play for the betterment of mankind. If you think about humankind, if you think about what contact tracing, if you think about the projection models you see on TV all the time, there's AI behind the scenes helping us keep track of this virus, helping us figure out how to handle this virus. The simulations that are run by pharmaceutical companies, just to say, hey, is this particular treatment path, is it going to likely produce a viable result? Well, AI is run against many, many, many of those paths based on millions of simulations and come out and say, these are your most likely candidates. 20 years ago, would that have been possible?
Yeah.
I think about the last pandemic in 1918 and think about how they learned about the pandemic, the type of technology they can bring to bear. So this is certainly a horrible situation that we're all in together, but we've never been better equipped to fight it than we are now.
Right. So just in conclusion here, last thing we want to talk about is the future, right? So what's exciting about AI is there's so many opportunities, right? The thing that I understand, because I've been in software my whole life, is typically we're solving problems with software development. So talking with Will instead of just somebody that does software development. There's a lot of companies that do software development, and they solve problems with software. So Will's company can solve problems with software, but also AI, right? Huge, huge. So talk about the future of your business, future of AI, and then tell everybody where they can find you. Where they could find you online to get in contact with you.
Sure. Well, the first thing is the future of the AI is happening right now. I mean, we're already seeing, faced with a unique world situation, the pandemic, obviously, and how AI is being brought to bear in a number of different ways to drive value for all of mankind. So that is happening right now. And AI is going to continue to become pervasive. It's going to perhaps be behind the scenes a lot of time, but there's a preponderance of data out there, a lot of value in which has not been unleashed yet. So we are going to continue to look at those things and taking into account privacy and security and everything else that's very important to us and our clients. And we're going to continue to unlock that value. And hopefully that will drive us to be a healthier, wealthier, and more upstanding society. So we're going to go that route with AI. Custom House, we have we have a vision laid out for the next 3 years, and we want to be, the go-to company in the Philadelphia region for AI. Okay, we want to have deeper relationships with the clients that we have, as well as make some new friends, and we want to become an employer of choice for all the talent that comes out of the Philadelphia area. I think, if you're here, just the number of schools we have and the amount of talent that's produced on an annual basis in this region. It's so much talent. It's incredible. So we want to be known as a place where people who come out of that talent pool want to go to start their career and learn how to do AI right. And then, there's also, we'd like to continue to have fun doing what we love to do.
Yep, so tell the audience where they could find you.
Sure.
And let's go from there.
Sure, so you can look us up. We're at customhouseinc.com. So customhouse, one word, inc.com. So hit our website, and that would be where you will find all the numbers and emails you could possibly need to reach us.
Great. So excited to have you on the show, Will, and looking forward, obviously looking forward to build a relationship with you, seriously.
Absolutely.
AI is really the future of our business. So again, so excited to have Will on the show. And again, Tech Talks is every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. and come on back next week. Thanks.